everybody, Rosematter here. Welcome to part 5 of my Higurashi When They Cried Let's Play. So we are finally into the festival aspect of the game, what the whole chapter is based around. And based on your guys' kind of foreboding comments in the last video, it seems like things are going to start to pop off soon. And, we're a couple hours in, and I feel like something's bound to happen soon, which has got me nervous, I'm not gonna lie. But I'm gonna stop being a baby, we're gonna get into it and see what happens next. Oh, what do you guys hear there? It's the OG soundtrack. I finally got it working, so hope you guys like it. It's gonna take some getting used to, because it is different for me, but I don't mind it. It kind of reminds me of Pokemon music for some reason. Anyway. We continue walking through the festival with Mion in the front. Now we look like a family of 6. It had some intensity to it. Tomitake-san was a bit surprised, but to us it was just the same as always. Regardless of how terrible a penalty it was. Rena was also brimming with determination. She didn't have any intention of losing. I tousled Rena's hair to lighten the mood. She giggled to hide her embarrassment. Tomitake-san whispered that to nobody in particular. At that moment, we heard an old man call out in a strong voice. Looking over, I realized it was the man Mion had greeted right before the festival. It's just weird, this, guy in his 20s just hanging out with a bunch of teenagers. I don't know. His stall was a shooting gallery. It was the usual setup where you had to knock down the prize you wanted with a cork gun. Everyone shouted their agreement. There was no need to consider how to win, since a condition for victory was simply size. The biggest prize at the stall, it went without question. Yeah, it's gonna take me some time to get used to, the old music. I did really like the... Oh, I'm kind of digging this, too. I liked the kind of, energetic music whenever they do the games, like the one that I was doing before, but I'm liking this one too. It was that one, wasn't it? Rena was gazing longingly at a large stuffed animal. It was intentionally placed on an unsteady platform, so it was possible to get it if you hit the right spot. The intent analysis had already begun. In this club, you'll get eaten alive if you don't come prepared. Everything hinges on what plan you can come up with before the main event. At some point, a large crowd had gathered around us, making a big fuss. There was this much of a following for our club's infamous event?
Hey, hey! 他のお客さんも待ってるんだぜ。最初のチャレンジャーは誰からだい？
先に挑戦した方が楽な景品を狙えて有利かもしれないけど、鉄砲の癖が見えないうちの挑戦は危険だね。
Tomitake-san's take on the situation was pretty good. He gets what our club is about.
じゃあさ、公平にじゃんけんで決めるのはどうかな？どうかな？結局それしかないかね。じゃんけん。
After a couple of matches, it ended with Mion being first.
一番は避けたかったんだけど、ま、ハンデってことにしとくかな。おっちゃん、10。
そらよ。
When the shooting range guy handed her a rifle, Mion looked it over intently. She didn't forget to check the cork bullet either.
オッケー。この銃はおろしたてだね。癖はなし。悪くない。
Mion raised the gun in one swift motion. It was completely different from her careful inspection. She was shooting from the hip. Fire. Reload. Fire. Reload. Fire. Flop. Flop, flop. 3 candy boxes fell, one after the other. A big haul. The crowd paused in a moment of awe and then erupted into cheers.
やるでございますわ。
Tomitake-san was at a loss for words after seeing such shooting prowess. Well, these guys have, like, an advantage, because I imagine they do this shooting thing every year.
すごいよ、みーちゃん。3つ。
Her accuracy was incredible. Her choice of targets wasn't bad either. The 3 Mion had gone after were fairly large and pretty easy to knock over. They were all targets with very high return on investment.
2番手は誰？さとこ？気をつけて。弾が軽い。
Next was Satoko. The rifle looked a bit big for her lithe body, but it didn't seem like she had any problem with the weight.
やはりここは大物狙いで行かせてもらいますわ。
She proclaimed she was going after the teddy bear. Damn, Sadako, such a bold move.
クマさんを落とせば、その時点でさとこちゃんのトップは確定するね。さとこちゃん、頑張れ。
Sadako was the opposite of Mion. She aimed at the target quite carefully and squeezed the trigger.
弾が軽いですわ。
The first 2 bullets struck the bear in the torso, but it only shifted a bit. You need to aim higher towards the head or it won't work. Sadako's 3rd bullet wasn't aimed at the bear, but at the candy box below its arm.
残念でございますけれど、私にクマは2が勝ちすぎているみたいですわね。
I'm waiting for Rika, like little itty bitty Rika. She's just gonna frickin' like nail it. Like she's gonna be so good. She went boldly after the big catch, but since she switched over to less impressive prey at the last second, the crowd only gave a strained laugh. Were they laughing because she lacked the courage? These fools know nothing.
さとこ、いい仕事をするじゃん。腕を上げたね。
The palm of Mion's outstretched hand went poof as it tapped down lightly on Sadako. She appeared to just be talking hot air, but this was actually completely calculated. Damn that Sadako! Just to avoid being in last, she dared to switch over to an easy target. Without shame or honor. Magnificent.
クマはレナさんに譲るでございますわ。健闘をお祈りしましたよ。
Or maybe Rena's gonna be amazing. Who
あり
knows?
がとね、さとこちゃん。クマさんかわいいよ。
But it might be because Rena wants the bear so much that she's gonna end up losing. Rena was up next. She couldn't hit the broadside of a barn as regular Rena, but she said that bear was cute.
レナちゃんはどうだろうね。一つくらい当たるといいんだけれど。
富武さんはちょっとレナを甘く見てますね。
It's Rena, you know. It's Rena Ryugi, you know. If it was to get that teddy bear... Tomitake-san wheeled around to see what all the commotion the spectators were making was about. If it was to get that bear, she'd be able to shoot through a pinhole. The one known as Rena Ryugi could do it.
揺れてるよ。かわいいよ。
Rena couldn't hide her excitement over the bear's slow rocking. Now Rena couldn't lose. If she doesn't get it, I imagine her just leaping over the counter and grabbing it and running off. Like nothing is gonna stop her.
さすがレナさんですわ。冷静を失えば失うほどに。
強い。
Another big cheer. Rena's bullet hit the bear's forehead again. Not enough. The bear seemed to wobble more than before.
でも無理かもしれませんですね。
いやー、わからないよ。レナちゃんの腕だったらひょっとすると。
While Tomitake-san was just as excited as the crowd, Rika-chan's analysis was not swayed by emotion. If Rena had 10 more shots, she could surely knock it over. But with just one more, no matter how you looked at it, no go. The crowd let out a dejected groan. She had shot it right in the forehead 3 times. It was a bit late, but they gave her a good round of applause for the attempt. She should be praised for her valor, but she had no trophies to show for it. Then, at that moment, the old man flicked one of the candy boxes with his finger and handed it to Rena.
こいつはジョーちゃんのだぜ。
くれるの？レナに？
あんなすげえの見せられて手ぶらで返しちゃ、お天道様に申し訳が立たねえぜ。
Oh, it's just 'cause she's cute. Come on. There was another shower of applause. Rena turned bright red and I pulled her back to us by her hand.
頑張ったじゃないかよ。かわいいモードのレナにゃ驚かされるぜ。
惜しかったよ、クマさん。
It was easy to see it only needed a little bit more to be knocked over. Rena had done quite a lot for me. I still needed to pay her back for that delicious picnic.
よっしゃ、そんなら俺が。
僕が取ったらプレゼントするよ。
Hey dude, come on, getting in on my action here. What? Tomitake-san had stolen the words right out of my mouth.
お願いね、富武さん。頑張れ。
Damn you, old man Tomitake. Stealing the good parts for yourself. A small hand stretched over and fell gently on my head just before I was overcome with frustration.
ケイイチもファイト王ですよ。
Tomitake-san carefully studied the bear. Or maybe Rena's doing this where she's using her cuteness to get the guys to want to, like, get the bear for her. We fail, we've got nothing to show for it. And, you know, maybe we're all tied for last. Although, technically, she did get a box of candy. Although, she didn't knock it off herself, so I don't know if that counts. Setting his sights, he shouldered the rifle while holding the other 2 shots in his hand.
どういうことだ？
間違いない。富武のおっさんの狙いは。
Pwop! The time between shots was short. It was meaningless to shoot again once it stopped shaking. Tomitake-san was relying on rapid fire to win the battle. That's what I was thinking too. I was like, just do it, try and do it as quick as possible while it's got the momentum of being hit before, and then just keep at it. It was visibly wobbling much more than it ever had before. But that was all. It still didn't fall over. All of Rena's momentary expectation for watching it sway violently turned into a dejected sigh.
結構いけると思ったんだけどな。
男だとキャラメルはもらえないよ。
Yes, yes, that's what Rena was counting on. She got the candy because she's a cute little girl, but we're guys, so we have nothing to show for it. So if anything, we'll be tied for last if I don't get anything either. So all I have to do is just go for something easy, and I automatically will not be the loser. That was it. It meant Tomitake-san had no spoils of war. I don't think that's fair. I don't think Rena...
ケイちゃんとリカちゃんは手堅く楽なものを撃ち落とせばビリ回避ってわけ。
Yeah. Well, that's what I was like... That shouldn't count. Rena didn't really earn that box of candy. She was just given to it... It was just given to her kind of as like a pity prize.
ビリ回避か。あ、すみませんね。
今度はケイイチ君の番だよ。戦闘。
I was the 5th shooter. I took the rifle from Tomitake-san. if I took the ruthless route, as Mion had suggested, then I'd go for something insignificant. Except, when I picked up the rifle, I definitely got a feeling from it. It was burning passion, passed down to me by Tomitake-san. The regret of not being man enough to fell the bear that Rena wanted. Guys, come on. Jeez, it's all like, oh, I'm a man. I gotta get that for the girl. Blah, blah, blah. It's gonna cause you to lose. Yes, that's right. If I don't aim for the bear, I wouldn't be a man.
約束しちまったからな。レナに。
I mean, it's sweet at the same time, but she is like, I like to believe Rena's playing them up. Playing them so hard.
約束ってなんだろうなんだろう。
あのクマを撃ち落としてレナにプレゼントするって。
それって。
The crowd went wild when they saw our conversation. That's not it, fine men of the crowd. If I didn't do this, then Rena might mug the old man running the stall on his way home. That's what I was saying. She's just gonna, like, jump over the counter and steal it. He's just doing this to keep her out of trouble. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. Why can't I just express my honest feelings?
ケイキさんも男を見せますのね。でも実際どうやってクマを落とす気ですの？レナや富武の玉で幾分傾きはしましたですが、難しいと思いますです。ケイチ君。
もっと素早い連射力があれば一撃ごとの揺れにパワーを上乗せできるのに。
頑張ってケイチ君。
After taking 2 deep breaths, I shouted over to the guy.
鉄砲もう2丁貸してくれ。
Huh? The crowd murmured amongst themselves. That's the rule.
ケイチさんは何を企んで
Do whatever you can to win.
一人じゃ3丁は使えないですのよ。
読めたよ。ケイちゃんも考えたじゃん。
Mion was able to figure it out magnificently.
つまり一番時間がかかってるのがこのコルク玉の装填。
Ah, so he's gonna shoot them all at once? Because he only gets 3 shots, but they didn't say anything about that they all had to be from the same rifle. Very clever.
そうだよね。じゃあ先に弾を詰めた鉄砲を3つ並べておけば。
Tomitake-san went silent, peering at me and the bear through his lens. His photographer's blood predicted a miracle would occur. And then the crowd finally picked up on what I was planning. They let out a great cheer. They chanted my name, Keiichi. Watch him fail. Horribly. Rapid fire is the key. If I miss, all is for naught. Phew. After letting out a deep breath, I paused. Relax. Now. That moment, it felt like time itself had stopped. I felt like I could see the trajectory of the bullets. Hit it. And knock it down. The first shot hit the bear on its head. The second. The third. The bear swayed hard. And then... I'm so invested right now. Did I do it? I did it! The cheers began before the stuffed animal even finished falling off the shelf. The guy caught it before it hit the ground and tossed it over to me.
まさか本当に落としやがるとはな。乾杯だぜ。
すごいや。おめでとうケイチ君。
ケイイチさんも頭を使えるようになりましたわね。少しは見直しましたですな。
俺一人で落としたわけじゃないぜ。みんなで当てて少しずつずらして落としたんだ。こいつは俺たち全員の戦果だぜ。
But mostly me.
そうそう全員の力の結晶だね。
ミーは一発も当ててませんです。
After holding up the teddy bear like it was a championship trophy, I handed it to Rena.
そら こいつは俺から、いや、みんなからだな。いつもうまい弁当ありがとな。
Rena, thinking she was never actually going to get it, was momentarily speechless.
ダメだよケイチくん。だってこれはみんなの。
What this should be like a trophy for the person who wins a game, who comes in first. They should have the bear, and they keep it until the next person wins a game, and then they have to pass it over.
じゃあ落としたのは俺だから、これは俺のだから普段にやる。
I pushed the stuffed animal towards her again. This time she embraced and accepted it.
俺が引っ越してきてからいろいろ面倒を見てくれたよな。すげえ感謝してるんだ。
Oh, these are so sweet, and this is what makes me sad that bad things are probably gonna start happening soon, but I still don't know when. Rena dove at me. Mion told me a few days later that Rena kissed me, but I didn't realize it during all the excitement at that time. I remember what I was trying to say to Tomotage-san earlier. There really isn't much of anything here, but there are lots of things you can find anywhere else. I gained a lot from coming to Hinimizawa, especially at that moment. The crowd's cheers echoed on and on. Well, the fact they said a couple of days later implies that maybe nothing bad's gonna happen at the festival after all, because apparently everything's just still normal. Okay. Maybe I'll loosen up a bit now and stop being so nervous. From the altar set up in front of the shrine, the drums sounded with a booming echo. It was the finale of the festival.
じゃあ僕はお先に行くですよ。
おっと、僕も早く行っていいポジションを確保しないとな。じゃあみんな、後ほど。
Both Rika-chan and Tomotage-san gave their farewells and disappeared into the crowd.
二人ともお勤めしっかりでございますよ。ささ参りましょうでございます。うん。リカちゃんのあで姿を見に行きますかね。行こう。
あ、あれ、レナは？何やってんだよ。
Uh-oh. Since she was carrying such a ridiculously large stuffed animal, she was being carried by the flow of people.
何やってんだあいつ。熊の世話で手一杯なんだな。
じゃあケイちゃんにはレナの世話を頼むかね。私はサトコの世話で忙しいし。誰がミオンさんの世話になるでございますの？痛い。手引っ張らないでくださいまし。
Before losing sight of Mion, I grabbed the back of Rena's collar.
ケイチ君、そこ違う。掴むとこ違う。
注文のうるさいやつだな。どこならいいんだ？
Yeah. I didn't feel ashamed at all. Rena was ashamed enough for the both of us. I grabbed onto Rena's hand and dashed after Mion and the others.
置いてかれる。早く行こうぜ。
I hadn't realized Rena's hand was so delicate. Maybe she needed a bit more exercise and nutrition? It wasn't what I meant, not at all. My ears burned. I tried to keep calm. I repeated the phrase, "Keep it together, Keiichi Maibara," in my mind, but it didn't look like I'd be able to anytime soon. I really didn't want Rena to see my face right then, so I pushed onwards, dragging her along without looking back even once. There was already a huge group of people gathered at the altar in front of the shrine. The fire at the altar made it bright as midday and just as hot. There was a pile of futons worded with sanctified rope in front of the altar. Come to think of it, they did say it was a festival where they did something with the cotton and futons.
ケイチさん、レナさん、こちらでございますのよ。
Satoko waved her hand from the front row.
お、すまんすまん。
Making our way through the mass of people, we reached the spot they'd saved.
どう？ちょっとはレナとドキドキできた？
やっぱりてめえ、そういうつもりだったのか。
Instead of replying, Mion gave us a perverse grin.
レナはどうだった？ケイちゃんの手って意外に大きいとか思わなかった？
Alright, whatever, Mion. And yet she was the one who was so protective of Rena when she thought I was doing something with her last time. I'm getting mixed messages here. Rena turned bright red, puffs of steam shooting out of her. I heard something slice through the air and turned around to see Mion on the ground with a welt on her face.
ミオ、お前いつ食らったんだ？
ハウのハとウの間くらいだったかな。
レナ。
Don't mess with Rena. That's what I've been saying from the
照れ
beginning.
隠しに友達を殴るのは良くないぞ。
レナ、殴ってないよ。知らないもん。
Thump, the thunderous beat of the drum echoed, silencing the crowd.
お静かになさいませ。始まりですわ。
It was a solemn ritual. Rika-chan entered dressed as a shrine maiden, followed by members of the municipal committee. The elders all looked at Rika-chan and clasped their hand in praise. The only thing allowed to disturb the profound silence was the flash from Tomitake-san's camera.
リカちゃんが持ってるあのでかいのはなんだ？
祭事用のクワだよ。巫女さんしか触っちゃいけない神聖な農具なの。
It was an awkward shape for a piece of farm equipment, not uncommon for something used in rituals. After reciting a Shinto prayer, Rika-chan approached the pile of futons gathered at the altar. She swung the hoe skillfully, plowing it into the futons. Each and every little movement of this performance probably had to be done in a certain way. Without a doubt, this was a ritual.
今度はなんだ？布団叩きかな？
あれはね、人間に代わって冬の病魔を吸い取ってくれたお布団を清めてるの。
ケイちゃんのお布団叩きって表現もまあ外れじゃないかね。
Rika-chan's face was already dripping with sweat. That hoe was probably really heavy. She staggered side to side with the momentum of each swing. Satoko looked on, silently lending her support.
心配か？
リカは毎日お餅つきの杵で練習してましたですの。きっとやりきるでございますわ。
Satoko's hands were sweaty, and whenever Rika-chan started to sway a little, she held her breath.
ミオンとかは巫女役立候補しなかったのかよ。リカちゃんにあの重さは気の毒だよ。
そりゃ頼まれりゃやるけどね。まあ誰にでも務まるものでもないし。
そうだよな。ミコは清らかじゃないとダメだもんな。
Mion drove her elbow into my side. With the thud of the big drum, Rika-chan gave a solemn bow and descended from the altar. That triggered a round of generous applause. After the Shinto priest had raised up the cleansed futons like a portable altar, all the spectators stood up. Following after the priest, we all marched on at a moderate pace. They descended the shrine's giant stairs in a line.
今度は何が始まるんだ？布団を川で洗濯か？
だから綿流しだってば。
The procession continued right up to the bank of the stream. A fire was stoked high, and it was as bright as day here, too. People started crowding around and clamoring.
はい、順番。並ぶよ、ケイイチ君。
I wondered what was up. They're sacrificing me right now. Maybe we get some holy wine? Red and white bean buns?
食べ物じゃないよ。
That was a creepy laugh. I'm like, a little nervous right now.
だから綿。
But of course, they didn't call it the Watanagashi for nothing. I finally understood. The municipal committee members pulled out the cotton from inside the futons and balled it up like mochi, handing it out to people. Rena dove into the line and brought out some for me as well. We then proceeded to the bank of the stream.
ケイイチ君は初めてだからレナのやり方を真似するんだよ。
She held the cotton in her right hand, and waving her hand as if to purify it, she touched it to her forehead, chest, navel, and both thighs.
これを3回繰り返すの。 心の中ではお社様ありがとうって唱えるんだよ。
お社様ってなんだよ。あの神社の神様の名前か？
うん、ひなみ沢の守り神様なの。ご利益もあるけどたたりもあるんだからね。ちゃんと敬わないとダメだよ。
That sounded like a pretty frightening god. But, well, when in Rome. I was officially a resident of Hinimizawa now, after all. Doing as Rena showed me, I touched the cotton over myself 3 times. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Thank you, Oyashiro-sama. Oyashiro-sama.
これでね、体についてた悪いのがこの綿に吸い取られたの。で、あとは沢の流れにそっと流してね。おしまい。
Together, Rena and I set our pieces of cotton afloat on the surface of the water. The flowers of cotton blooming in the water had sucked out all the bad illnesses from Hinimizawa and drifted off, disappearing into the distance. No, you're just straight up littering in the river. You can call it whatever you want. It was wonderful, like those floating lantern festivals I'd seen on TV. The best part, though, was feeling like this rite of passage had made me a true resident of Hinimizawa. Okay, so there we go. We got through the festival, seemingly without any issues. That's good. I was expecting something to happen there.
初めは
Oh.
ちょっとした不安だった。
Oh.
誰か
Oh.
を傷つけたいなんて
Oh.
考えもしなかった。それでも不安
Maybe
が
I
孤
spoke
独を
too
生んで
soon.
疑念へと変わり、やがて黒い殺意が心を闇に閉ざしていった。戻らない日常。少年は足を踏み出す。
Wow.
その先が奈落の底だとも気づかずに。鬼隠し。
Okay.
信じたいと思う気持ちが生んだ悲劇。流した涙は懺悔か、それとも怨恨か。
Okay. Now I'm nervous again. That was, foreboding. While staring off into the stream, I somehow got separated from Rena. And I'm pretty sure that was Rena talking, and that makes me not want to be near her. I wasn't very lonely, though. I know this place now. This is where I live. My home. Oh my gosh, if only he knew! If only he knew. It's probably better if I just stay here instead of wandering around aimlessly. Someone would surely find me while I was enjoying the evening breeze. Oh no. Oh no, I heard a familiar voice. It was Tomitake-san's. I headed towards it. Dude, please
どうですか、富武さん。
stay with me,
いい
please.
写真はいっぱい撮れましたか？
I'm so scared.
ああ、おかげさまでね。
Tomitake-san was with a girl. I felt a little like I was intruding.
圭一君はどうだったかしら？お祭りは楽しめた？
From the way she spoke, it seemed like she was a resident of Hinimizawa. I really should try harder to remember people's faces here. What was her name?
その、楽しかったです。
My face must have given away how desperately I was trying to remember her name because she gave a light-hearted chuckle.
ケイチ君はまだ引っ越してきて日が浅いんだそうだね。他の子たちととても親しげだったからとてもそうは思えなかったよ。
If that's how it looked, it was probably all thanks to Rena and Mion.
あなたも今日のお祭りに参加して自分がひなみ沢の人間になれたんだって自覚。
どうなんでしょうね。
おや、ケイチ君らしくない返事だね。
This guy talking like he knows me. Psh, I met you like 3 days ago, dude. Relax. I had tried to get used to Hinimizawa, but there were still plenty of things I didn't know. The faces of people I'd met, for example. Things that had happened in the past as well.
なんだ。その程度のことで君は疎遠に感じていたのかい？
疎遠なんて大げさなもんじゃないですよ。ただその、なんていうのか。
That incident at the dam construction site. The fighting over it and other conflicts. That terrible incident they pretended they didn't even know about whenever I brought it up. Even though it was in the past, as someone living in Hinimizawa, it wasn't wrong to want to know about both the good and bad that had happened here.
それを知ることで君が納得するなら
Okay, here we
僕
go.
の知っている範囲で何でも教えるよ。
I almost feel like the more that I'm getting into this and trying to know more, maybe people are going to be like, whoa, this guy is diving into our past. We don't like it. Something needs to happen. Tomitaka-san's smile made me more relieved than I'd ever been. It was hard to think of what to ask when someone said, ask me anything, though. Even when there was so much I wanted to ask.
じゃあダム工事について聞かせてください。ひなみ沢が水没するとかいう大事件だったんですよね。
ダムについては多分ここの人に聞いた方が詳しいと
He's
思う。
like, ask me anything, but it doesn't mean I'll have the answers for you.
ま、僕が知っている範囲でいいなら。新聞で読んだ程度だけどね。
Tomitaka-san's eyes entered an unfocused gaze as he searched through his memory. Then he spoke.
ダムの計画が決まったのは7、8年くらい前なんだ。黒部に次ぐ巨大な計画だったと聞いてるね。
There were three major issues in Japan at that time: improving inter-island transportation infrastructure, meeting the higher demand for electricity, and flood control. There was a boom of dam building due to the massive economic stimulus they provided on top of generating electricity and flood control. Hinimizawa had the right conditions to support dam construction, so it was singled out.
ダムの完成に伴って生まれるダム湖はかなりの面積になったらしいね。この南沢からずっと上流の矢後地あたりまでが全部沈むことになったらしい。
しかしなんだって人が住んでるひなみ沢にわざわざダムを作るんですか？もっと他の人が住んでないところに作ればいいのに。
よくは知らないんだが、ダムを作るのに適した地形ってのがあったって聞いてるね。
Of course, there were protests here in Hinimizawa. Reika-chan had said they had fought. From that choice of words, I had to guess things had turned violent.
裁判にもなったし、議会でも取り上げられたんだ。東京の新聞にも載ったよ。
Mion had told me about that as well. I'm sure every resident of Hinimizawa had united to fight together. That feeling of solidarity found here, which could not be expressed properly with mere words, was likely brought about by that battle.
で、いろいろな不祥事や汚職が発覚してね、工事中止が決まったんだそうだよ。
If I wanted to know, now was my only chance to ask. It was certainly a bizarre incident that boys my age would be curious about. I felt a little shame from the fact I was petty enough to have my curiosity piqued by Rena and Mion's refusal to talk about the event. But I figured I might as well ask since I had the chance. Just so I would stop thinking about it so much.
バラバラ殺人ってありましたよね。
あったよ。偶然その時期にひなみ沢にいてね。だからよく覚えてるよ。
Tomitaka-san's answer was nonchalant in contrast to my hesitantly forced out question.
ちょうど4年前の今頃だったかな。あれも確か綿流しの日だったね。
Oh, lovely! So this is the anniversary of the dismemberment. Fantastic. Great. Debate on whether to continue construction on the dam was in disarray. Scandal after scandal rocked the project near the end. The incident that was the final nail in the coffin for the dam project. A fight at the dam construction site ended in the victim being murdered. Fearing prosecution, the 6 assailants divided the remains into 6 pieces and each hid one. 5 of the 6 criminals turned themselves in out of guilt, but one was still on the run. The right arm he hidden had yet to be found. The major details lined up with what was in the tabloid I'd read earlier. It certainly was a tragic event, but it wasn't so terrible that Rena and Mio needed to hide it from me. I guess they didn't want someone who just moved here to have a negative impression of Hinimizawa. Or they're in on it somehow. I felt grateful for having friends who worried so much about me, as well as shamed for still being so interested in it.
当時はダムのトラブルの末期だったからね。お社様のたたりだって言って随分騒がれたんだよ。
お社様のたたりか。
Oyashiro-sama was the name of the god at the shrine that held the festival today, if I recall correctly. I see. Their guardian deity rained divine punishment down on the evil dam construction for trying to flood Hinimizawa. Great, so there's a supernatural element to this too?
若い人たちはそうは思わなかったみたいだけれど、
Oh, this is so creepy! I don't like this.
お年寄りたちはお社様のたたりだと疑わなかったみたいね。
Oh, and the way she's talking too, I don't like it. The woman with Tomitake-san chuckled mischievously. Tomitake-san began laughing with her. It was so infectious, I ended up laughing as well.
でも今ではどうかしらね。結構いるんじゃないかしら。若い人にも。
いるって何がですか？
信じてる人だよ。お社様のたたり。
The woman's lips were still curled into a smile, but her expression turned stern.
その後ね、毎年起こるんだよ。決まって今頃にね。
Uh-oh.
怒るって何が？
Tomitake-san paused for a second, as if to build up some suspense. Then he whispered to me, as if someone might have been listening.
毎年、Watanagashiの日になるとね、誰か
Oh!
が死ぬんだよ。
Okay. Okay.
バラバラ殺人の翌年のWatanagashi。
Okay. Oh boy. Well, I mean, based on what an earlier conversation where it said that Mion said a couple of days later after the festival thing about how Rena kissed me, so I'm guessing I'm gonna be okay. At least today.
Hinimizawaの住人でありながらダムの誘致派だった男が旅行先で崖下の濁流に転落して死亡。
But I might be finding a dead body, which I'm not cool about.
奥さんに至っては死体も上がってない。
And she's still smiling while we're talking about people dying. That's no, I gotta watch out for this girl. She's giving me bad vibes.
南沢の人間でありながらダムに賛成していた男ですからね。事故当時お年寄りたちはお社様のたたりだと。
So is it only though for people who have ill intent towards Hinimizawa that die, or is it just anyone? The woman chuckled mischievously again.
さらに翌年、渡流しの晩、今度は神社の神主が原因、奥さんはその晩のうちに。
Okay, alright, never mind. Maybe it's just anyone then.
神社の神主って今日のこの神社の神主ですか？
The woman nodded.
村人たちはお社様のお怒りを鎮めきれなかったんだって噂したわね。
さらに翌年、これもまた渡流しの晩、今度は近所の主婦が撲殺体で発見された。
Housewife. Up until now, all of these mysterious deaths were people involved with the dam or who had connections with Oyashiro-sama. With that in mind, could the housewife have been involved in some way too?
その通りよ。
The woman stated slyly. No, it was more menacingly.
被害者の一家はね、その2年前に転落死した
Okay.
誘致派の男の弟一家に当たるのよ。
弟本人はまだ生きてるらしいね。でもやはりかなり気にしてね。近隣の町に引っ越して。
Oh, I'm wondering if maybe that's why Tomitake-san... no, I was like, why he left? But if that's the case, he wouldn't be here right now if he had, like, some secret, you know, to him that might cause this god's wrath. He wouldn't risk coming back here for the festival. Okay, that is concerning. For a while, I stood there with my mouth agape. The battle over the dam construction, with Hinimizawa's future at stake. And the murder at the center of it all. Yeah, it definitely turned quite quickly. It was so nice. Nice festival, games and everything, and winning a bear for Rena, and now it's someone will die every year at the festival. That was all I knew, and that was all I wanted to ask about. But that wasn't all there was to the story. Homicide, body disposal, accidental deaths, terminal illness, suicide, fatal beatings. I'm a pretty level-headed person. I don't really want to believe in curses. But the freakish deaths happened every year on the day of the Watanagashi... Oh my gosh, I'm having such a hard time with it. Watanagashi, and all of them were related to the dam construction? It was easy to dismiss each of them as coincidences by themselves, but when you put them all together, dismissing all of them as coincidence would then defy logic. I don't believe in curses, but every single year, on the day of the Watanagashi, somebody or something makes it happen, without fail. The woman chuckled again, as if she picked up on what I was thinking. It felt like she was saying, maybe there was, maybe we frightened him, stuff like that. I felt embarrassed at being read so easily. I pressed Tomitake-san to continue, a bit of impatience and irritation in my tone.
De, その翌年の渡流しの晩にも、今度は誰です？
さてね。
Okay.
圭一君は誰だと思うかな？
I don't want to hang around you anymore. The way he said it didn't agree with me. The sarcastic tone ticked me off.
はぐらかさないでくださいよ。俺は結構真剣に。
まあまあ圭一君、落ち着いて。
I realized when she tried to calm me down that I had been panicking.
別にはぐらかしたつもりはないんだよ、圭一君。つまり、その翌年の綿流しってのは、つまり。
今日よ。
Bum bum bum. When Tomitake-san hesitated to say it, she finished for him. I broke into a cold sweat. I really didn't like the direction this was headed.
みんな口にしないけど、今夜また何か起こるんじゃないかって思ってる。
こんなにお祭りでに。
Exactly what I was thinking.
あのね、去年の被害者の主婦は不審人者だったらしくてね。綿流しのお祭りに参加しなかったらしいの。
So it's someone that might not attend the festival. Ooh, I'm wondering. What about my family? Is my family not here?
今年の綿流しに参加しないと、
Oh.
親代様の怒りに触れるかもしれないって噂。圭一君なら聞いてるんじゃないかい？
Uh-oh, now I'm nervous. Got my mom and my dad at home. They're probably not here. I never even heard a whisper of that rumor.
じゃあ、みんなのお祭りの参加は、たたりを恐れて？
It's like mandatory participation.
そうなんじゃないかと思うね。今年の綿流しは例年になく参加者が多いよ。
やっぱりみんな怖いんでしょうね。お社様のたたり。
I couldn't utter a single word. In this modern age, where we've made progress in all scientific fields shedding light on the unknown and misunderstood, where black and white television has been eradicated and we've sent men to the moon, even with all of our accomplishments, this can exist in modern society?
桜ってことで近隣の町の子供会をかなり招待したらしいけど、やっぱり一連の事件を受けてあんまり参加はなかったみたいね。人集めに苦労してるって町会の人がぼやいてたもの。
警察もね、過去の事件は全て別個のもので関連性はないとしてるみたいだけどね。警備ってことで私服警官をだいぶ立たせてたみたいだよ。
It finally began to dawn on me why Rena and Mion were reluctant to talk. If nothing happened during this Watanagashi, everything would have been over with and I'd be none the wiser. If nothing happened, all would be well. In that case, it would all end up being just crazy talk. I should have just pretended like I knew nothing from the beginning. Then they wouldn't have to act like nothing happened. And we would all have gone back to life as usual.
やっぱり刺激が強すぎたかしら。
The woman ran her fingers through her hair as she sighed.
いえ、そんな、全然。
I had tried to act strong, but that just served to emphasize how much the information had unsettled me. After seeing how I looked, Tomitake-san appeared to regret saying anything. Letting out a sigh, he then spoke, forcing an awkward, upbeat demeanor.
まさか圭一君、たたりなんて信じてるわけじゃないだろう？
そりゃ、まあ。
全ての事件が原因不明で犯人も手口も謎っていうなら僕もたたりを疑ってもいいよ。
I was gonna say, don't you want to say, though, that you believe in the god and curses because they said that he punishes non-believers?
だけど実際には違う。どの事件もちゃんと警察が捜査して真相や犯人を究明してる。
Hearing him say police made me feel a lot better. It was perfect for repelling the word curse.
例えば一番最初のバラバラ殺人言ったよね。犯人は一人を残して全員逮捕されてる。残った一人だって時間の問題さ。動機だって酒の上での口論からと判明してる。たたりなんかじゃないだろ。
That was true. If it didn't appear on the day of the Watanagashi, then I wouldn't think it was related to the curse at all.
次の誘致派の夫婦の事故死だってそうさ。恨みを買う立場だったからね。警察が特に入念に捜査したと思うよ。それで発表は事故。他殺じゃない。
でもまた綿流しの日に起きたんですよね。
考えてもみなよ、圭一君。ひなみ沢に敵が多かった彼が地元のお祭りにおちおち参加できると思うかい？彼にとっては綿流しの時期は特にひなみ沢に居づらい時期に違いないよ。だからわざわざこの時期に旅行をし、意図的にひなみ沢を離れようとしたんじゃないかな。
It wasn't a very clear explanation, but I sort of understood what Tomitaka-san was getting at. So I pressed on earnestly, asking more questions so that I could convince myself.
じゃあ富武さん、その次に死んだ神主さんはどうです？原因不明の奇病だって。
And then Tomitaka-san was like, no, that was totally a
そ
curse.
れもまたしても綿流しの日に。
神主さんはもっと説明がつきやすいよ。綿流しのお祭りは神主さんにとっては年に一度の大行事。過労に
Oh, sorry, didn't mean to
元
skip.
々持病持ちだったのかもしれない。
でも奇病ですよ。でもこの医学の進歩した時代に原因不明なんて。
尾ひれだよ。噂が噂を呼んだだけさ。2年立て続けに事件が起これば誰だって過敏になるよ。急死は確かに不自然だったかもしれないけど、こういう死に方をすると必ず警察が検視をする。で、事件性は発見されなかったんだろう。本当に偶然の病死なんだよ。
確か神主の奥さんが自殺してますよね。じゃあこれは？
すでに説明した通りさ。3年目の事件に村人たちは動揺していた。信心深い人たちはすぐにたたりだと決めてかかったのさ。もちろん神主の奥さんもね。自殺の際に死んでお社様の怒りをお鎮めするみたいな遺書が見つかったらしいし。
じゃあ次の主婦の事件はまたしても綿流しの日に。
この事件は犯人も逮捕されて解決してるよ。一種の異常者でひなみ沢のたたり騒ぎを面白がって再現したと自供してる。
じゃあ次の年の事件は
Oh yeah, this year is the next year. Tomitaka-san gave a hearty laugh.
もう何も起こらないよ。
Oh, whenever someone says nothing will happen,
今度こそね。
especially in a game like this.
お社様のたたりなんてもともとない。
Or maybe it will subvert it and nothing will happen.
一連の偶然をあると信じている人たちがそうだと吹聴しているだけさ。
My internal computer finally got itself back on track. I felt a bit embarrassed about how childish I'd become after losing control and panicking.
僕は圭一君がひなみ沢をとても好きだと思ってることをよく知ってるよ。仮にお社様のたたりが実在したとしても、そんな圭一君にたたりがあるなんて。
Oh,
とても
thanks,
思えない
dude.
ね。
Feel like by saying that you just put the curse on me. But maybe not me, but maybe someone else coming to kill me for some reason. Like Rena. When she was talking about, feeling like she has this murderous... I'm assuming that was Rena in that voiceover. Oh boy. I felt very relieved. I should probably just forget everything I heard tonight. I don't feel relieved at all. I'll greet Rena and Mion tomorrow with the same smile as always. They probably also like tonight to end without incident, so they can continue on tomorrow without having worried me. Perhaps seeing my change in attitude, the woman who had been listening and stretched as she got up from the rock she was sitting on.
さてと、そろそろ私は戻らないとね。
Lady, you're the one who caused all this in the first place by bringing it up.
おっと、僕も少々長くおしゃべりしすぎたかな。
There were so few people compared to the crowd from before, I could only make out a few groups of families enjoying the cool evening air. I looked at my watch. It seemed like we talked for the better part of an hour.
ケイチ君もお友達と一緒に来たんでしょ。みんなを探したら。
そうだった。みんな俺のことを探してるかもしれない。
女の子に探させるなんてなかなかの罪人だね。
じゃあね、おやすみなさい、ケイチ君。ジローさんもね。また後ほど。
Tomitaka-san seems to be quite the scoundrel himself. So his name is Jiru? After dusting off her backside, she disappeared into the crowd of people still busy cleaning up the shrine grounds. And now we're back to happy. Happy. Just like that. In her place, Rena came running over. I could see all the others behind her. Speak of the devil. The devil, eh?
悪いケイちゃん。すっかり話し込んじゃっててさ。
I'd completely forgotten about them all caught up in my own conversations, so we were even.
あら、富武さんもご一緒でございましたの。ちょうどよかったですわ。今日の射的の結果発表がありますです。
Oh, that's right.
そうだったね。
That's right, we didn't end up having our, the punishment. Maybe the punishment will cause someone to die tonight.
結局ビリは僕なのかな。
Well, technically, Rika didn't, play, did she? Yeah. In the end, after my dramatic victory, Rika-chan was the last challenger, but there weren't many targets left. The ones remaining were all tiny and difficult to hit. She did take her time and aim, but all 3 shots completely missed. She was to end up sharing the loser's crown with Tomitaka-san. However, she did her little mewing cry in front of the owner, and he turned to mush instantly. She was given a pack of gum as a consolation prize. Her methods were a bit audacious, but she did avoid being the loser rather magnificently.
思うにリカちゃんって結構タヌキだろ。
ケイチの言ってる意味がわかりませんです。
なわけで、ビリは富武さんに決まり。
Everyone cheered and applauded. Tomitaka-san smiled wryly, slightly bewildered.
じゃあ富武さん、覚悟はいいかな？罰ゲーム。
え？あ、忘れてた。
You're too naive, Tomitake-san. This is why you've got to avoid losing in our club. Mion pulled a felt tip marker from her pocket. Oh, it's that.
ミオ、武士の情けだ。せめて水星にしてやれ。優勢は辛い。
優勢じゃないとダメだよ。お洗濯したら落ちちゃうじゃない。
なんだいお手柔らかに頼むよ。
All of us pinned his arms behind his back, and Mion approached him with the marker in one hand.
キュッキュッキュッだ。
But she didn't write on Tomitake-san's face, she wrote on the shirt he was wearing. You'd better have your big break this year, Mion. Rena took up the marker next. Show me your photos next time, okay? Rena. It was a little heartwarming, and I just had to laugh.
これじゃあ罰ゲームってより寄せ書きじゃないか。
私は甘くはありませんのよ。ちゃんと罰ゲームできますわ。
Haha, dead last, Sadako. Try harder next time, Rika. Rika like, you little bitch. Just writes out on his shirt. I couldn't decide what to write, but based on what kind of penalty this was probably the most appropriate. Come back and play again, Keiichi. Tomitake-san was silent the entire time. At first, he was quite bewildered, but now he had a different look on his face. Mine would be, try not to die tonight.
これを着たまま帰郷するのも罰ゲームのうちに入るのかな。
もちろんちゃんと着たまま家に帰ってね。
Dude, he got off so easy.
次に来る時にも着てきてくれるといいな。
Why do I have a feeling that it might actually be Tomitake who's gonna die? Maybe. He appeared deeply moved. Embarrassment mixed with a wealth of other emotions made him turn a bright red.
分かった。次に来る時も。
Especially with all the talk of like, when we see you next time, we'll see you again soon, blah blah blah. I don't know. Everyone cheered and applauded. It was the finest parting gift possible for a buddy heading out tonight. I saw the woman who was with Tomitake-san standing near the festival grounds. It seemed Tomitake-san noticed her too and knew it was time to leave.
お連れ様がお待ちみたいじゃん。そろそろお時間かな。
そうみたいだね。
Tomitake-san headed off towards her and seemed to apologize for making her wait. We all shouted stuff at Tomitake-san. Each time we did, he looked back and waved his hand. Eventually, he faded into the darkness of the night, out of sight. It was quite the casual farewell. This wasn't the first time any of us had seen someone off. They'd done the same thing many times before. It's all this talk about, like, it's happened many times before, just a casual send-off, we'll see him again soon. I don't know.
行っちゃったね。
じゃ、うちらも引き上げるかね。
Rika-chan had to stay behind with the other committee members since they were having a meeting. Sadako was tagging along with her. I headed back home with the usual suspects. The walk back was quite lively with talk of the day's war stories. Should have done this, should have done that kind of stuff. Ren and I parted ways with Mion, and then it was just the two of us. Uh-oh. Then we got to my house, and I parted ways with Rena as well.
こんな時間だけど、一人で大丈夫か？
全然平気だよ。近いし、走っていくし。
変な奴がいたら大声出せよ。
出したら、助けに来てくれるのかな？かな？
聞こえたらな。
Don't just yell for no reason, though.
聞こえるくらい大きな声を出すね。
Merrily spinning her arms around at high speed, Rena dashed off. She was fine. In that mode, not even an adult could stand against her. Where's her bear? Did she already lose her bear? Rena's cheerful presence disappeared, and it finally became quiet again. The curse that not a soul mentioned, even under their breath. The more I learned about it tonight, the more unsettling it became. It didn't show on any of their faces, but they were probably all quite concerned about it as well. Oh god, I forgot about my parents! I'm afraid I'm going to walk in and one of them's going to be dead! But if nothing happens tonight, then it all ends up just being crazy talk. Nothing will happen. Nothing bad. Nothing at all.
どうしたのケイチ？
Okay.
そんなところで。
She's fine.
中に入りなさい。風邪をひくわよ。
It was my mom.
母さんは行った？渡流しのお祭り。
Oh, she could still maybe die though.
結局お父さんが起きなかったからね。
Uh-oh.
行きそびれちゃったわ。
Uh-oh.
残念。
Mom stuck her tongue out with a bit of an embarrassed look on her face. It's still technically the day of the festival, right? So, I don't know. I'm like so nervous. I'm like, everyone's potentially gonna die right now. Like, until I learn that they're fine. Oh boy, we've got quite a few tips. Okay, well, why don't we check these out first, and then I'll probably wrap up this episode. Alright, I like this. We're gonna get into the backstories of all the different, deaths. From the June 1980 edition. On the afternoon of XX at 2 p.m., office employee XXX and his wife XXX of Hinimizawa village in Shishibone Prefecture disappeared after falling 27 meters from the observatory platform in Shirakawa Prefecture. Police and firefighters searched downstream and discovered the body at around 7 p.m. that evening. His wife has yet to be found. The search has run into difficulties due to the effect of Typhoon 3 from the previous day. It appeared a railing at the observatory that they were leaning on had broken, causing them to fall. The groundskeeping staff were questioned by police in regards to faculty deterioration and if park maintenance was performed properly. Okay, so that was not really a lot of information there. From the June 1981 edition. On the afternoon of XX around 10 p.m. in the X district of Hinimizawa village in Shishibone Prefecture, the Shinto priest of the Furude shrine passed away after an existing condition he was recovering from suddenly worsened. Parties close to the deceased said he was suffering from anxiety issues concerning the festival, which was to be held that day. Also, after his death, his wife went missing, leaving behind a farewell note. The police and local youth association continued the search. However, given the presence of the farewell message and the fact that the Onikakushi marsh is said to be bottomless, they have run into difficulties. And the housewife murder. It wasn't reported in the newspaper. Oh, okay. Well, that was a little bit anticlimactic. Radio log.
Sango です。感度良好。応援が向かいました。別名あるまで医師願います。どうぞ。はい、サンゴ了解。それから回転灯はつけないでお願いします。静かで願います。今、先生が到着しました。運びたいそうですがどうしますか。どうぞ。了解しました。先生に任せてください。はい、了解です。ああ、応援も到着しました。先に写真撮らせた方がいいんじゃないですか。外車、もう無駄だと思いますし。
Okay, so a bunch of tips, but not really that much information gleaned from it. So, guess we'll learn all that information later. Alright, so I think with the festival being over, I feel like that's a good place to wrap up this episode. So, definitely some foreboding information. Still nothing really too freaky yet, which is surprising to me. But I imagine we're probably coming to the end of this chapter soon, so, like, wondering when it's really gonna start, like, getting crazy. But, yeah, especially that whole thing about who I assumed Rena was talking about, like, her starting to kind of lose her mind a bit and like feeling like she had to commit violence, like that is very concerning. So yeah, that makes me a little nervous, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode and I hope to catch you in the next one. Until next time, bye guys.